Are you ready to be empowered to live a life of emotional and financial freedom? Well, welcome to Freedom Starts Now. It's the show educating, entertaining, and inspiring with experts around the globe excited to guide you on a journey of exploration. And now, here's your host and freedom facilitator, Karen Theimer.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Breakthrough Show and welcome to Freedom Starts Now. I'm super excited for today's show. You know, I started doing these shows because to me, Freedom Starts Now really is about just making that decision to have a better life, just to make that decision to maybe find some joy in your life again. I don't know what it is for you, but if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like, you know what, I just can't seem to get ahead, I can't seem to win at anything, and your life hasn't changed in the last year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is for you, then maybe the change needs to start with you. And do you feel like that maybe you want the change to start from other people first, or do you want it to start from you? My belief is that it has to start from you to make that change. Anyway, I'm going to actually invite my guest up today that I'm super excited to have. And his name is Shiraz Baboo. And welcome. Hold on, let me get you. Oh, there we are.
Me.
You keep popping in and out. Shocking.
I came in and it didn't look like my camera was working, so I left and tried again.
Got it. Well, I'm making my intro short because I want you to actually introduce yourself, because you are very unique. You have a unique style. Yes, you, my friend, have a unique style in coaching people, you know, and helping people change the reality, I guess you would call it. So welcome, Shiraz. I'm excited to have you here on Freedom Starts Now. So yay. So please tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, Karen. Myself, it's just so funny because you're saying, you know, you waiting for someone else to make the change. And I'm basically in a really nice way saying, no, this is all your fault.
And so it would be so easy to say that, right?
But I've gone by many titles: reality shifting specialist, energy and money flow coach. I'm currently playing with reality interventionist, because I realized what I do with people is get them out of addiction to their current circumstances. And most people don't realize that they're physically addicted to the way things are. So that makes it harder to change things because you'll go into withdrawal. Mm-hmm. And so I think like the term reality interventionist is like when, you know, you've got a problem and then you come home and your family or friends are there. It's like, oh no, it's an intervention. It's like, yes, this needs to stop. This needs to stop.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's what I do with people, because if you don't know there's an addiction, you can't get over it. If you don't, and the thing with reality is sometimes you know you're doing the wrong thing, but you can't help yourself. But other times you don't know that you're doing the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And so you can't figure out how to get out of it. Like for me, I had rheumatoid arthritis for almost 20 years. And I kept trying to fix the arthritis, which makes sense. I tried medication, I tried supplements, I tried acupuncture, and nothing would fix the arthritis. But the problem was, I believed I was responsible for everyone in my life. And if I couldn't help everyone that came to me for help, I'd feel all sorts of guilt. Mm-hmm. The arthritis provided a way for me not to feel guilty if I couldn't help anyone, because I was in too much pain to do anything.
Right.
And then I became addicted to that life of pain and suffering, because in my mind, the alternative was constant guilt every day. Right. And so getting out of it it's like getting out of any addiction. Some people, they just get in that presence of mind and like, this is done. But most people, it's like, okay, I'm going to change. And then, oh man, I'm back to the old habits. Okay, I'm going to change. And then, I'm going to back. But eventually that change holds and you get into that new space, and that becomes your normal life. And the cool thing is, if you change and have this wonderful way of being, you get addicted to that. So you get back out of it again.
Yeah. It's so cool because I mean I've taken your course, and I've been, we became friends over the last while and stuff, and you do have definitely a unique style, but I love how you do this. Like, whose story is this? And if you want to do a demo here, hey, I'm always up for that. Like, if I could get some shifting in me, I'm always game for that. If you want to play around today, but it is really about getting out of that story, like of whose story is it? Is it your mom's, your dad's, society's, some kid that maybe bullied you, or maybe a TV show you watched as a kid or something,
Yep.
right? So it shows up in our life really as different things, like as you say, right? Living in your story, living. If I keep saying I have pain and can't help anybody, then I don't have to deal with the guilt,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
this is it is about stories. So we think that, and like, this is my opinion, that we think that there is a single reality that we all live in, and we just have to be in this place together. And I've come to find that everyone's living in a separate reality, because one person can come out of a situation with completely different conclusions about what that was about, and even different observations of what happened in that situation. And so what we see as reality is just the majority vote on what's real and true.
mhm.
And there was a really profound time that happened when I was at a singles event, and I was at a table. There were four guys, including me, and two girls, which I thought was really unbalanced. And there were all these different tables. We'd switch tables around every now and then so you could meet more and more people. But we started off this way. And what was really weird was the three guys got into a conversation about sports, and I'm not a sports guy, which left me to talk to two girls, which I thought, I'm happy to do that. This is a singles event. But when I started talking to them, we were having a good conversation. But one of the girls pointed out the big problem with girls dating is that there's twice as many single girls as there are single guys. So we're always having to compete with each other over the guys.
Okay.
And I said, what? What are you talking about? And she goes, that's the way it is. There's always twice as many. So where are all these, like, are girls double, like one girl's getting two guys? Like, what's happening? The numbers don't work. Right.
Yeah.
And she said, but look, even in this situation, there's two of us talking to you. So if we're both interested in you, we have to compete to get you. And I
Mm.
looked at her and I said, there are three other guys at this table. There's actually twice as many guys as there are girls. So it's the exact opposite of what you're saying. And I watched her and I could see it going, like I broke her brain in that moment. Right? Because she was in her reality. She physically did not see those three other guys 5 feet away from her to justify her reality. And when I pointed them out, it's like they came into her existence. It's like, oh my God, they are here. I forgot. Like, it was just, it didn't register. And I know after we left, she would forget that incident so she can go back to her reality.
Right. Got it. Well, it's interesting. You just made me realize something I did not too long ago. And I was going through, oh, wait, hold on. Nail Beauty. Brittany says, hey, Karen and Shiraz, happy Thursday. Thanks for chiming in here. um, but it just reminded me, as you were saying that, of what we're not seeing is because I went to a ceremony, a retreat, I don't know, a couple months ago, and there was a part of me that felt really alone and by myself and nobody there to talk to. Yet I'm talking on the phone to
Mhm.
people. And I'm like, oh, I just feel, this is what I'm going through. I feel so alone. I don't feel like I have anybody to talk to. As I'm talking to this person
Yeah.
on the phone, not realizing, like, it's like, wait a minute. Well, actually, I'm not alone because I have these people, right? Like, I have my community of people, but I didn't see it. Right.
Mhm.
And I was looking at, like, no, I need to reach out to these people, the two shamans, and they have to be the ones to help me out. Right.
Yes.
Not these other people that I keep saying I'm alone and feel like I have nobody to talk to, and I'm on the phone talking. But it's interesting, eh? Like, just how we're not seeing what it is that we need to see.
Well, the thing about stories is people, again, they become addicted to the stories. They love being in their stories, even if their stories suck. Because the one thing about being in a story that happens over and over and over again is every time it happens, you get to be right.
Yeah.
And people prefer being right over being happy, over being successful, over being rich, over being healthy. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you get a hit of dopamine, and that feels good, even if it's like a horrible situation. Oh, my partner cheated on me again. Oh, I hate this. But underneath, it's like, I was right. See, it happened again. Oh, give me that dopamine. Oh, that feels so good. Yes.
It's funny, eh? I say to people sometimes that, like you said, like people, you can either be happy, healthy, and wealthy, or you can be right.
Mhm.
You get to choose, right? And you're like, and it is a dopamine hit, whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
I remember listening to Dr. Joe because I didn't understand this stuff before, and I love Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Mhm.
and that's how I started learning that it's just a chemical reaction in our body, right? Like our how is it? Is our brain likes to live in, or our body likes to live in the past, and and it will stay there because you're getting, I guess, that chemical reaction, right?
Yeah.
The dopamine hit and whatever other chemicals are involved. But
It's interesting because your cells actually develop receptors to receive the chemicals associated with your default emotion.
right, that's
Right.
right.
So
Okay,
if your default emotion is frustration or fear or even anger, and then you decide I want to be happy, then suddenly your cells aren't getting the chemicals for frustration or fear. And they're like, well, what the hell's going on? So they send a signal to your brain, says, stop making this person happy. We've got to make them frustrated. You do something to create frustration. Your cells go, oh, thank God, here we go. And you don't realize there's this physical addiction, and you have to stay in happiness long enough that the receptors change.
yeah, right.
And it's not like you're going to be happy constantly all the time, but if you start making happiness the emotion you're in the most of the time, the receptors on your cells change, and then you get addicted to being happy most of the time, which
Right.
is really cool. I've actually created an addiction. My body's addicted to laughter. So
Mhm.
every day something happens that causes me to laugh, and not just like giggle. I have big belly laughs every single day.
Oh my God, I love that. But it's important, right? Like we need to find that joy and everything. I mean, sometimes even when bad things happen, like I've had days where I'm like, man, everything is going wrong. And I just go, I surrender and I laugh because I see it all coming. It's like, okay, what's next? What's next? And I just laugh because I'm being shown what's next, right? But I just, you almost have to kind of laugh at it and go, okay, now what do I need to do to shift that?
Yeah.
So that's cool that you laugh every day. Well, I also do laughter yoga, as you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, gotta laugh, get that dopamine hit.
It's healthy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
I assume that's something you teach people that do laughter yoga.
I do. Have you ever done laughter yoga?
I have. I have.
Got it.
It was actually one of the courses I was teaching. We were the place we were going to. The host there came up to everyone during the lunch break and said, "Would you guys like to do some laughter yoga before you go back into class?" And we're like, "Yeah, what the hell? Let's do it." And she got everyone laughing.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That wasn't Kathy. Was that Kathy Nesbitt by any chance?
No, no,
No, somebody else.
I know Kathy. Yeah, no, it's
Or do you know?
Star Bear is her name. So
Oh, okay. Very cool. It is. I mean, people, I have a laughter club that I'm actually like starting in September. I'm changing the days because I was doing it on Fridays and now I'm going to probably do it on Mondays. But it's so important just to laugh because, again, like you can get strong abs from doing it. And who doesn't want to have strong abs?
right.
And and you're releasing that stress and releasing, the good hormones and, increasing your circulation. I mean, there's so much more to it, right?
Mhm.
So, but I heard if you do laughter for, what was it? I think it's like a half an hour of laughter or 10 minutes of that was it. I think it's 10 minutes of laughter is equivalent to doing, I think, like a half an hour on a rowing machine or something along that line. I read this article and I was like, seriously, I'm going to, if I can get strong doing laughter that way, and I only have to do that 10 minutes, I'm in, right? So
I mean, but it is like if you're having a big laugh, like you can feel those abs tightening, and you're like, oh my God, it hurts, it hurts. Right? It's just,
and then the next day you're like, why is my stomach hurt? Oh, right, because I had a good belly laugh and I found some muscles that I didn't realize I had.
yeah,
So very cool.
you've already
How
had a
did
couple of those. In my house, we already had a couple big laughs today already, so it starts early.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, how fun. How fun. Well, I don't know. Do you want to play a little bit? Like,
We could play.
so you can show people like what you do, your
Okay.
unique style if you feel like it.
Ooh,
I'm always open to be vulnerable here. No, but you do have a unique style, and I use that in my coaching as well. And I, one thing I've learned is if you want to be like somebody and you want to know what they're doing, just do what they're doing. Oh, wait, some guy told me that. I think that was you. If you want to learn what I'm doing, then take my course and learn what I'm doing.
It seems pretty logical to me.
Kind of funny how that works.
And yeah, and it's funny with the the unique style. I remember at an event, this potential client came up to me and she said, "I'm thinking about working with you, but I have an issue with you." And I'm like, "Oh, what's the issue?" And she goes, "Well, you're basically like a spiritual coach." And I said, "Yeah, somewhat." And she goes, "The spiritual coaches I've met before they have a certain way of talking. It's all about light and love. And with you, it's and I look, sarcasm and dad jokes. Yes, it's sarcasm and dad jokes. And that doesn't mesh with my idea of spirituality."
That's funny. I remember when I first met you at a networking event, and you were demonstrating what you did with somebody, and I thought, what the hell is this guy doing? I thought it was kind of strange, and again, back then I didn't know any different, but and I was like, I don't get it. I don't know about this guy, but there was something about you that I was like, I still want to learn. I got to get to know this guy, right? And pardon?
It's the shaved head.
Well, I didn't really want to say that.
It makes
But yeah.
me look wiser than I am. That's just the thing.
Yeah. I think it is the shaved head and the sarcasm. And Brittany says sarcasm and dad jokes equals Shiraz. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, Brittany. Now I forgot where I was going with that. All right. And then, because you did this yawning and clearing your throat. I'm like, and I remember listening to one of your shows. I'm like, this is irritating me. And then as a massage therapist, of course, again, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I didn't understand back then. And I remember as a massage therapist, I started, like when I was working on people, I noticed all of a sudden I started yawning a lot and doing this. Like, I was like, oh my God, what is in my throat? And I had to clear. And I thought, and then one day all of a sudden it popped in. I'm like, that's what's happening to Shiraz, because you're clearing that. Well, for me, it's clearing the energy, right? So anyway, then I was like, oh, now I understand this energy stuff on a different level. But if you want to elaborate on that, feel free. Okay. And yeah.
All right. Well, we can play. Oof, wow, you're already ready, aren't you? Okay.
Are you clearing stuff for me already?
I said we could play. Your energy just went, okay. So
only if you want to. Only if you want to.
All right. So let's explain what's going to happen to the audience first.
Release. Yay, Brittany. Okay. Love releases.
Release. Oh, yes. Yes. When we had everyone on my show on the Breakthrough Show birthday, that was a fun time. There was lots of crying on that one. So.
Oh, absolutely. But it's great, right? Like it's just changing the perspective, releasing, and let's play. Let's play.
So what's about to happen is Karen.
Wow.
Just got a reminder. I have a meeting in 2 hours. Okay.
You got a reminder that you're supposed to be on my podcast. Look at that.
It's fun how you shifted the reality to get me on here, because I had an appointment until 1:15, so I wasn't supposed to be here on time. And that person didn't show up until 10 minutes past the hour. So 25 minutes late for the appointment we had. And I was already on here, so I just saw the notification. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You missed your slot.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. See, you were meant to be here today. You were meant to be here on time, because you were technically supposed to be a little late. And so,
okay. So I mean, everyone does it, but people don't realize they do it. And this is one thing before I start working on you, people don't get this because people are saying, how can I manifest great things in my life? How do I learn to manifest things? Right. And yet everything that's in your life, you are manifesting. So you do know how to manifest things. You just need to focus on better things. That's all it is. Right. And so it doesn't take any more effort to manifest a good thing as a bad thing. It doesn't take any more effort to manifest a small thing as a big thing. But we just think that. And so we make it hard.
Yeah.
Right. And when you start to realize it doesn't have to be hard and you can just play, you'll start to see little miracles and serendipitous moments and all these things coming up in your life. And it's effortless. Right. So just a quick example just happened yesterday, day before. I noticed I was out of masks, the COVID masks, and we have disposable ones. And we don't need them in Canada anymore, but I travel a lot and some airlines require you to wear them. Some airports require you to wear them. So I always have to have a few disposables based on where I am. And I'm like, oh, I'm out of masks and I'm traveling next week. I should get some masks. And so I just threw it in my brain. I need more masks. And then the next day I get up and there's a pack of masks on the kitchen table because apparently I needed masks. And so it was, I have a roommate, he had gone out and bought some extra masks, but we never had a conversation that I needed them. Right. But it's cool because the moment I put it out there, somehow it got in his head. He got the mask, brought them home, and I didn't have to do a damn thing.
I love that.
Right.
We really do make life more complicated, don't we? And especially around the manifesting. Yeah, I mean, we're manifesting all the time. So that's hilarious. I love that.
And this is the thing. When you start to realize I did that, and whether it's good or bad, then you're going to start to consciously manifest more because you're doing everything. But what we usually do is if it's bad, oh, why did that happen to me? Because obviously it wasn't me that created it, but which is actually just taking away power from yourself.
Yeah.
But if bad things happen to me, I'm like, wow, why did I want that to happen? So,
right?
Because obviously I created it. So that just happened. I remember one time we were supposed to drive to a movie. And we live 3 minutes from movie theater. So we usually jump in my roommate's car. We drive there, we drive back, we're done. But there was an 80s revival going on and it was like 40 minutes away. And I said, let's go see it. Some classic 80s movies we get to see again on the big screen. It's going to be awesome. And he's like, yeah, I'm down for it. And so we start going out. I'm heading to his car. He goes, where are you going? I said, you drive. He goes, no, I drive when it's 3 minutes away. It's 40 minutes away. It's your idea. You're driving. I'm like, oh, fine. Okay, I'll drive. So we get in my car. We start driving. 5 minutes into the drive, my entire dashboard lights up with every warning light in my car.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what is going on? And he's looking because it's like, there's so much light. He's looking over going, what's going on with your dash? And I said, I don't know. We need to go home because I don't know what's going to happen to this car. So we drove back home, parked my car, got into his car and went to the movies. Came back the next day. I took my car, drove it to the shop, and I could feel it just starting to break down the closer I got to the shop, and I got it into the shop. And they came back like an hour later, said it's going to be $1,000 to fix everything that's wrong with the car.
Oh, shoot.
Right. So I took a shuttle back, left the car there, and I got home and I said, it's $1,000 to repair the car. And he just looked at me and goes, wow, you really didn't want to drive to that movie. And I went, oh my God, you were right. I so did not want to drive to that movie that I was willing to do $1,000 worth of damage to my car.
Right?
Right? But I owned it. Like that was it. That was completely me.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Next time, if this happens and I don't want to have to go someplace, I'm not going to make it cost me a lot of money. And the next time that it actually came up, I was actually going out to hang out with some friends, but I had a bunch of work to do and I was feeling guilty about not getting the work done. And I get out to my car and the tire is flat. Oh. So I couldn't go. And then it was just a matter of pumping up the tire. It didn't cost me a thing. Right? So
I love that. That's awesome. It's like, oh, how did I manifest that one? Yeah, next time I don't want to go to a movie or I don't want to drive. Let's just rephrase that or put some clarity on it. Oh my God, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
But this is when you really start to embrace this and do this with your life. The reasons are actually going to come up.
Yeah.
Like I did not want to drive. Like that was it. That's why the damage was done to the car. But you'll start to see, oh, you know what? If I go to this thing, I might feel uncomfortable. Or if my business grows, it's going to be so much more responsibility that I'll just sabotage it and keep it where it is. Or if I get into a relationship, I might have to open my heart and I might get my heart broken. So that's why I'm not meeting the right people, because meeting the right people means I might get my heart broken. And so you can see all these things start, the answers start to come up and like, that's why I'm manifesting that. Cool. But then if you manifest good things, you're like, look what I did. I did that. That's totally me. Yay.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe, you know what? Let's talk relationships, because it just made me realize, and I've heard you say this again, and maybe we'll play another day. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I'll just have to have you back on my show again. There you go. Right. Relationships, because, and I'm hearing it a lot with people being in bad relationships. And I know with me, I always attracted in the past the same type of guy. Right? Guys that need rescuing, guys that I felt like I could fix, and it was the same type of guy. And what ended up happening as the time went on, I went from the alcoholics and the druggies to, people that weren't as much, the guys that weren't as much, but, where was it going? But maybe just a better version each time. So after my marriage fell apart, I was like, okay, Karen, time to go on a healing journey, because I don't want to attract the same type of guys in.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, I don't want to fix. I'm not here to fix you. And people aren't actually broken, I don't think. Maybe need to be guided. Right. But yeah, let's talk that a little bit.
Oh, we can talk that. We can also clear on that, because that's the way your energy reacted when you brought up that story was really, really cool to watch.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'm not sure what you saw, but I'll take it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. This is why a lot of women do this. I see a lot of women that they don't get the man they want. They get the man they can fix into the man they want.
Yes.
And I'm like, the guy you want's actually out there, but you're choosing to these ones that need to get work done. And one of the most common things is, what's your value in the relationship if you're not fixing your partner?
What is the value in the relationship?
What's your value in the relationship?
My value? Probably, I would probably feel like I failed, right? Like, I've stayed single for a long time for a reason, right? But yeah, if I was to look back, yeah, there'd be a bit of a fail. Like I wasn't able to change.
Yeah. So if you pick someone and there's nothing to fix, then it's not even like you fail. It's like, well, what's my purpose here?
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And this is what happens with a lot of women. It's like, well, if I'm not actively doing something in this relationship, then what's my purpose in life? He's not going to want me just for me. That's ridiculous. Who would just want me? I've got to do something here, and I've got to show him that I have value, because that's the way a lot of people are raised in general, but women, especially in relationships. What's my value to this relationship? But the whole point is, when you get into a relationship, that initial thing is people just see you and see value. You don't need to really add on to that. If you do, that's a bonus, but you don't need to, because they're like, I want you.
Okay. I never really thought. Yeah. And I've never really, okay, keep going.
Okay. So
I'm like, you've got my attention here.
Yeah. So what happens when you're in that story that I have to bring value to the relationship, and oftentimes I have to do it by improving the person I'm with, is that if there's a person that's attracted to you that you don't have to improve, you don't feel any attraction to them. You're like, I know, yeah, he's good looking, he's got his act together, but it's just I'm not feeling it. Right? So, but this guy here, he's a mess, but there's something about him Right? I just got to start dating this guy. Right?
Because you see something where I could, or I would see something that I feel like I could fix. Is that what, like,
Yeah.
got it? Okay.
And then he'll see how valuable you are to the relationship. You get to save him.
Right.
The problem is you end up with two types of people. Number one is the one that can't be saved, so it's just frustrating, and you get into arguments all the time. It's just not going to work. Or you get someone that does get saved. He improves his life. He becomes the person you like, but now you've got no value because there's nothing to save yet. And then the relationship fizzles at that point, and you move on to someone else you can save.
Is that where you kind of like drift? I guess you would drift apart and
Yep.
this is making sense now. Okay. There's a reason why I've stayed single for a long time. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so we can
Twist on
clear
this.
this.
Thank you.
We can clear this. This would be fun.
Well, let's do that.
Okay, so the way I work with people is we have a conversation like we just did to find out what the story is. And Karen's story is, if she doesn't do something to help improve her partner, she has no value in the relationship. Now, it's not true. It's just a story. So when we find out what the story is, I ask, are you willing to step out of the story? And if the person I'm working with says yes, and they mean it, then it shifts. The energy shifts. We're actually rewiring neurons in the brain physically is what's happening, because you have a cluster of neurons holding your story in place. And what we're doing is we're moving neurons from that cluster and creating a new neuron cluster with a new story. So it goes from, I need to be able to fix my partners to have value, to, oh, I just have value. And the more we work on it, the more neurons shift over until the new story is the dominant story. And that's just the way you start living your life. So now here's the weird thing. This is why she's talking about, oh, and he was yawning and clearing his throat. When energy shifts around me, I tend to yawn and cough. And I don't know why. It's just my body's reaction to it. But that's just what happens with me. And with the people I'm working on, they may yawn. They just may feel a little energy moving. People feel like they're lighter for some reason, like they let something go, which is basically what they've done. They've let go of a belief. But anything can happen because everyone processes energy differently. You may not feel anything, or you could yawn or cough or burp or get hot or get cold or feel lightheaded or anything. It's just how your body processes energy. So Shiraz exemplifies the freedom lifestyle. Ooh, do I? Thank you so much. I like exemplifying things. I really don't care what I exemplify. I just like the word exemplify. And so I want to exemplify a lot of things.
Awesome. I missed that comment. I'm like, I don't know how to put the comments on the full screen here.
But just click on it.
Huh?
Just click on it.
Oh.
Ta-da.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that was easy. And then does it go away on its own, or I just click on it again? It doesn't want to go. Oh, I see. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Woohoo! Learn something. I'm like, how do you get that? Oh, it's all good.
All right. Okay, so Karen, are you willing to step out of the story that your value in a relationship comes from improving your partner?
Yes.
Ooh, there's a lot of energy on that one.
Wow, good one.
Okay. Now keep in mind, if you see an opportunity to improve your partner, you could absolutely say, hey, why don't we do this to help you out? Because if it seems like you need it. But that shouldn't be the reason you're in the relationship. If you're in a wonderful relationship, you're both in the relationship because you truly just appreciate each other. But if you see ways for each other to improve, then you support each other in that improvement as a bonus to the relationship, not the definition of the relationship.
Okay.
It's like it's your brain going, what? Huh?
I know. I almost want you to say that again.
Okay.
It's almost like, what? You just stumped me.
So what if you're just in a relationship because you appreciate that person for who they are and nothing more? You love that person for everything they are, all their strengths, all their flaws, and that's why you're in the relationship, nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're in the relationship for the same reasons with you. And so if nothing else, the relationship works because you both just appreciate exactly who the other person is. But now, once that's the basis of the relationship, if one day your partner is having some issues and you go, oh, I know where you can improve yourself in that, or I know where you can get around that. And your partner's like, you do? I'd really appreciate the help. Then you get to help that partner. You get to support and empower that partner. But it's not because that's why you're in the relationship. It's you get to do that as a bonus in the relationship to make things even better.
I don't think I've ever been in a, as I'm listening, I'm like, I don't think I've ever been in a relationship like that. Ever.
There's a reason the divorce rate is 50%.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty high rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. This is how most people are doing relationships. There's another thing that happens in relationships, and this is just so fascinating to watch, is that you see someone you're attracted to, and that person shows interest in you. So now you're like, ooh, I can see they're kind of interested. So you know what? I'm going to find out everything I can about them that they like, and I'm going to adjust myself to fit into their mold of who the right girl is for them. And so you don't show them all of you. You show them, like metaphorically, you show them all of you except for a leg and part of your arm. Because they're attracted to part of you. They saw that, so you're going to show them that. But you're going to hide the stuff that you think they might not like. So there's only part of you in this relationship now. Meanwhile, that person is looking at you and going, wow, I really like Karen. Okay, let me find out what she likes. And then I'm only going to show her that part of me so I can ensure that she really likes me. And so now only part of them is in the relationship. And you start this relationship and met the most amazing person and this is great. But you can only maintain that hiding of parts for so long. And it tires. So eventually you'll start being more and more you. And then this is what happens. 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year down the line. Where's the person I met? Where'd they go? Right? Like, why aren't you that person? Well, they were never that person because they're trying to be the person they thought you'd be attracted to rather than just being them.
Right.
So when you start a relationship, if you just start off the relationship being you, then nothing's going to change. They're not going to say 6 months later, what the hell happened to the Karen I met? They'll be like, oh, I love it. This is you because that's the person I was initially attracted to. And if you're both doing that, then things don't change. Now, you are going to change and grow naturally as a progression, but if you're in a good relationship, you'll grow together, right? But most people don't do relationships that way. And it's funny because I've been on some first dates where I confuse the girls I'm dating.
Why does that not shock me?
I don't. But the basic response is, you're not acting like most guys act on a first date. And I'll be like, yeah, no. See, I'm not on my best behavior. I'm on my behavior. This is me. This is who I'm going to be 6 months from now. If you don't like me today, then what's the point of being in a relationship? Right? And sometimes the girls just can't handle it. They're like, no, I can't do this. And I'm like, if you want to end the date, we can. But other times it's like, oh, wait, we can do that? Oh, hell yes. Let's do the date that way. And they just drop all pretense and they become who they are. And then we have an amazing time with each other rather than who we want the other person to see it. That's
wow.
Fun. Yeah.
And it's funny because I've always, like, before, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how to date anymore, but I'm sure I'll figure it out again. But, before it's like, and I always thought I was being myself. And I don't know, you've just kind of opened my mind to, like, maybe I wasn't, right? So, yeah. And obviously vice versa, right? But yeah, very cool. You've really, like, put my brain to that halt of, like, what?
And here's the thing. If you start doing dating this way, it's actually easier. The other way takes more effort because you're just being you. Right?
But how do you know? Like, how do you know if you're being you or you're being not you? Because I was never aware that I wasn't being me, and maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I don't know.
If the thoughts come up, well, what if they don't like who I am? What if this behavior is inappropriate to them? All that stuff, what they're worried about, You're not
Ah,
going to be you in those moments,
got it.
right? And it comes from, if you're really attracted to someone, there's this desire not to lose them, to keep them, to make sure that they like you. But you're not looking at the whole picture there. You're just looking at, well, what I see, I want, and I got to make sure it doesn't leave. But if it's not a match for you, you want it to leave right now so you can have space for the person that does match you. But people live in this scarcity mindset. Oh, there's one. I can't let this one go because, what if it is the one, or what if I never find someone else? So I got to do everything to make sure I hold on to this one. But if you live more in abundance, and you say, oh, let's find out if this is the right one. If it's not, I know there's someone else out there. You're way more at ease. And you're like, let's just have fun on a date and see where it goes. And they'll see if they like me for who I am. If they don't, better to find out today than 6 months and have that fight. Where were you? Who's that person I met 6 months ago? What happened to them? Why go through that?
Yeah. And well, that was, and I can totally relate to that, because I remember thinking in my marriage, when I was married, it's like, what happened to the person who was full of joy and fun and this? Oh, okay, that makes sense. And sometimes I know when I have gone on dates that, I'm like, I like sometimes in my head, I'm like, am I talking too much? Is this like, am I talking too much woo woo? You know what I mean? Like getting too much in this, too much information, or do you hold back a bit, right? I guess again, you just be you. And if they like you, they like you. And if they don't, they don't.
Why would you hold back on you?
Yeah. You're right. Because, yeah, I mean, I know for me, yeah, I've thought about that after going on dates. It's like, maybe he didn't like me because I talk too much, and get into I don't know, whatever. But next time, I'm not going to think like that. I'm going to be like, yeah, you're either going to like me for who I am or you're not, right?
Yeah. And remember, this isn't just about dating. This is everything, right? There was
Mm-hmm.
one time I was at back when I actually went to see clients in person. Um, I went to a
That
client.
was a thing.
That was a thing. Yeah, there were times where I would actually make house calls. It was interesting. But I
Wow.
went to a client's condo, and I was down at the security desks, telling them I need to come up, and I was wearing a pendant that had, oh, it's right here. Hold on. It's a tektite. It's a meteor rock.
Oh, I love those. Yeah.
So I was wearing that, and the security guard looked at me and he goes, "Oh, what's that you're wearing?" I said, "It's tektite." And he goes, "Oh, cool." And he said, "I actually wear a cat's eye, but it's underneath my uniform, so you can't see it." And I said, "Oh, why do you wear it?" Right? And because I knew that question was just going to take him someplace, right? Because not like, can I see it, or that sounds so cool. No, why do you wear it? And I saw the barriers just go up, and he had to come up with something. And so he prefaced it with, "Well, if you believe in that sort of thing," to like get himself off the hook. Cat's eye is supposed to give you clarity and focus, but I just like the way it looks. So you see, so he's kind of throwing it up, but giving the space to get out of there. No, I'm not one of those woo people, right? It's just like, I just like the way it looks, but that's what people say about it. And I said, yeah, I wear mine because I find it helps get me better results when I do energy work with people. And he looked at me and goes, "What?" I said, "That's why I'm here, is I'm seeing a client to do energy work on her. And I find I get more powerful results when I wear the tektite." And I just watched every barrier drop on this guy. And then we just started having an honest conversation about woo.
Very
But he
cool.
didn't think he could do that with other people. And we just like went by me just being me. Everything came apart. We could have this wonderful conversation. And then I would, whenever I went to see that client, we'd have a conversation before I went up. "Hey, how's it going? What's going on?" It's great. But people get worried about what everyone else is going to think about them, and they don't show up as themselves in almost every situation. And when you actually start to show up as yourself, you actually make better, deeper connections with everyone around you. And of course, there's going to be times where people are like, "I don't like who the hell you are," but they're just not your people. And you don't have to try to make everyone your people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. For those who are listening, it's true. But it is true. It is true. It is true. Yeah. And I think maybe there's a reason why I haven't been dating in a while, because it's like, I think as I'm listening to you talk about it and stuff, that it's like, yeah, maybe there's just a part of me that goes, yeah, maybe you won't like me for who I am, right?
Mhm.
So, but at the end of the day, I gotta like me for who I am, right?
Yep.
So I don't gotta do anything, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so very cool. You just opened my eyes and mind to so much more. Thank you.
You're
I knew
welcome.
you were on here today for a reason.
And full disclosure, I used to have we called it white knight syndrome, which is basically what you do with your partners. I would find girls that are in distress, have a relationship with them, raise their self-esteem, get them feeling really good about themselves, and whenever they got to that point where they're like feeling great, they would dump me, and then I'd start again with another girl. And now when I look back, I'm like, oh, of course, because my whole purpose in being in a relationship was to save the damsel. And when they didn't need saving, they didn't need me, so the relationship would end. And now I don't do that.
It's so funny though that we go that, and I'm sure there's like many people that feel the same, and that we feel like we need to save people. I guess, well, again, it comes back to where do we feel like we need to save ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, very cool, very cool. Will you come back on my show again?
Sure.
Because I would love to have you. Because I'm running out of time here, and I would love to have the audience share the experience, right?
I was actually, if I didn't have that appointment before that the person didn't show up to anyways, I was actually just thinking I should just drive to your place since we're 20 minutes away, and then we'll just both be on screen.
Well, that would have been nice. We're not
Next
that far. Next time. Yeah, no, I would love to have you come back because I didn't really plan my day very well, and I have a client right after. So, and I know like talking with you and all that can go on for a long time, and you have like it's yeah. Anyway, but but I would love to have you back, and if you're open for it, to do a demo and well, of course, have me there on what you do. Because I always love anything to help shift the mind, right?
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I love doing what I do. I love seeing the changes in people. But what's the added benefit is every now and then I'm working with someone and something new comes up, a new belief I hadn't seen before or I wasn't aware of. And I sit there and go, oh, damn it, I've got that too. Let's clear that for both of us. Right?
It happens though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Because yeah, I with the relationship. And I guess that's why I wanted to talk about that. It was like, yeah, I don't even have words at the moment. I'm trying to find them and they're not there. So I think I'm gonna just end that on that because you've given me lots to think about.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
thank you. And I'm definitely we'll book another date for you to come on. And I look forward to that. So how can people, so my question for you right now is what does freedom mean to you? I love asking my guests that. What does freedom mean to you?
Everything we just talked about. Just being you without worrying about what anyone thinks.
Got it. I think that's a great freedom. Definitely. And how do people find you and contact you? And I did put it in the show notes. So if you want to.
Energeticmagic.com.
Perfect. I highly, for those who are watching, I highly recommend go have a conversation with Shiraz. You will not be disappointed at all. I don't think so.
Thank
anyway.
you.
I don't think you will. You might kind of go, huh? You won't be disappointed. It's all good. It's always, there's always laughter involved. So
at the very least, there will be laughter. There will probably
Definitely.
be confusion and not knowing what to say, as we just seen.
Well, this totally like stumped my mind here, and I'm just going like, I'm trying to put things into words, feeling like I have to, but I actually don't. I just get to like sit with this for a bit and go, huh, and journal it out and that kind of stuff. So Anyway, Shiraz, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show. Till we meet again. And yes, we do need to get together since we are only 20 minutes apart. And yes, next show, let's do it in person.
Okay.
We'll share the room, whatever. I like this room that I'm manifesting.
That is a good room.
That's the that I was showing how to do. Isn't that a cool place?
It's very cool.
I'm learning how to do technology. Anyway, all righty, my friend, you have a great day, and we will talk again.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. All righty, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the show today. Please feel free. I am on the Breakthrough Show every first and third Thursday of every month. Follow them on social media. My show again is called Freedom Starts Now. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Oh, yeah. And I'm on every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this show. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Freedom Starts Now with Karen Theimer, only on the Breakthrough Show Network. Please visit our website at thebreakthroughshow.com to catch all past episodes and, of course, connect with Karen. Until next time, break free and find freedom.